Shortwave Radio for Slug tuning part 2. I want to keep it very short. Anyway, here is the local oscillator. It's now mounted on that board. Here is the intermediate frequency amplifier with two filters, ceramic filters, 455 kilocycles. Here is the antenna amplifier, and here is the antenna coil. You can read the amount of windings. So, Slug tuned shortwave radio part 2. Pen over somewhat over the schematic. There are two antennas, one in my room, that's 4 meters, hanging in my room. It's the indoor antenna, and there is also an outdoor antenna. That outdoor antenna is, say, sent into my workbench via a coax cable of approximately 4 meters. It enters my house there. So there's a kind of shielding. Well, this is the schematic again. The outdoor antenna is connected via 14 picoFarad capacitor. It's only a piece of wire, no specific antenna. I don't want to focus on specific antennas because of the aim of my YouTube channel. Here the indoor antenna, and of course that indoor antenna is not connected via 14 picofarad capacitor. You can do it, but anyway, it's directly connected to the top of the coil of that antenna coil, and that antenna coil is here. And here is thus the slug tuning of the antenna coil. Here is the slug tuning of the local oscillator coil. And the good thing of it all is that when we move this in and out, we can directly see between, say, approximately 3 megahertz and 10 megahertz where the most fierce radio stations are. That's of course also depends a little bit on the setting of the antenna coil, but that is more broadband. This is more broadband, and that local oscillator must be very precise, because otherwise the IF filter does not work. Important to tell, pen over somewhat, there's fine tuning of that local oscillator, and that local oscillator is made in this way. It's a field effect transistor. Here is the stabilizing part. Here we have 150 ohms, but from the stabilizer 7812 there is a potentiometer of 100 ohms, and it is bridged with a resistor of 47 ohms, and it means that we can align the current through the local oscillator, and it means that we can fine tune, and that is done here by this red knob connected to that 100 ohm potentiometer. So this is more or less a classic oscillator. I've published it many times on my YouTube channel. Here is the local oscillator coil. Here orange and blue. And these are two tiny coils. I bought them via Ali, China. And they are responsible for, say, the fine tuning of the local oscillator. That's important, because I found when I tried to connect here a tuning capacitor, that did not work okay, because the waveform got very deteriorated. So the idea was use only inductance in a certain way, and this is saying extra inductance to the gate of the local oscillator transistor that can be switched on and off. Shortcut here, and this is also a fine-tuned coil. It's tiny, tiny. It's here. That blue one here, and it is responsible for fine-tuning the local oscillator to the highest frequency band. So let's try and see what we can receive with this radio. It's completely experimental, and like all my radio circuits, made for people that want to do experiments. So let's listen. Tune now the antenna coil of the radio station that I receive. So you can see directly here that when I tune that antenna coil, a different radio station pops up. And I can fine-tune it here. Well, it's quite fierce. It means that the fine-tuning is not necessary. And I can say, take the Farad rod more out. So now there's no reception. There is here reception, but anyway. No radio station, amplitude modulated radio station. And here is another radio station. So there is a combination of tuning the antenna coil and the local oscillator coil. And of course also very important to tell, this is the high frequency amplification. When it is too high, the radio station will be pressed down. That's not visible now here, but it surely works. There's an ideal position. So let's try to get to another radio station. Here is another radio station. There's a tiny movement here of the local oscillator, and via tuning the antenna capacitor, the antenna inductance, you can get to better reception. So here, this is the best reception. Again, when we overdrive the high frequency amplification, it has effects. So now the reception is less but not so good. And here is the ideal. It also means this also means that the high frequency amplification has also an effect on the tuning anyway. It's a simple, very, very basic shortwave radio. Anyway, has to do with, say, the strength of the signal that is sent into the mixer here via the high frequency amplifier and via the local oscillator. Let's listen further. Perhaps it can work out. So, antenna coil tuning, now local oscillator tuning, and that is of course more important. Let's look further. Here is a radio station. Well, I don't receive here other radio stations, but anyway. So 2 radio stations here. This one. And this one. They are very close. So, go to another local oscillator frequency. Perhaps it works, will work, I don't know. I'm more or less always interested in only say the technical things. So, when I receive something, that's say the aim of all my experiments. So here we have another radio station. So you can surely hear, say Radio China is pushing through over all these bands, anyway. Let's try the fine tuning.
Kultura ispijanja alkoholnog pića i čaja je drevna u Kini. U različitim godišnjim periodima se biju različita pića od voća. Narodnost Han proslavlja mnoge praznike, među kojima je najsvečaniji tradicionalni praznik Lularna Nova godina. Pored nje proslavljaju se i praznik Fenjera 15. januara po lularnom kalendaru, zadušnice 5. aprila, praznik Tovu 5. maja po lularnom kalendaru i praznik mjeseca 15. augusta po lularnom kalendaru.
And this is a strong radio station. Perhaps it's Radio China or perhaps an Eastern Europe radio station. But anyway, the only aim of this video is that you can get good results with such a very, very basic setup. The ferrite rod is immersed in a kind of cardboard, and also here, so we can take it in and push it out just like an organ. And well, that's more or less all to tell. Thanks for watching. Perhaps I'm going to do more experiments with the antenna coil. That could be an idea. Though with that ferrite rod moving in and out, we have a good frequency range, and I say that on the basis of all my experiments during the past 15 years. Anyway, again, thanks for watching.